While we wait the official autopsy results in the deaths of iconic actor Gene Hackman and his wife, Betsy, we've gotten new information that might provide us some important context into their deaths. Hello, my friend, Perez Hilton here, the queen of all media, the original influencer, and I shared with you all the tragic details about the sudden deaths of the Oscar winner and his much younger wife. Briefly, a welfare check was performed after those in their gated community had not heard from them in weeks. The cops showed up and discovered her body in the bathroom. Her body was next to a space heater that may have contributed to her mummification and the decomposition of her body. His was in a similar state in a different room, the mud room. Very speculative, but police think that perhaps both of them fell. The space heater had fallen next to her and his glasses were next to him. Also in the bathroom was a dog in a kennel passed away. Miraculously, 2 dogs survived. The home had no cameras, no security footage, but a pathologist determined that his pacemaker had last recorded activity on February the 17th, 9 days before he passed. So it's believed that his body was there for at least 9 days before being found. Police obtained a search warrant, took a lot of evidence, and an investigation is ongoing. However, while that will take a while, they've already gotten the results of carbon monoxide tests performed on their bodies, and both came back negative. It was feared that they died of carbon monoxide poisoning. But even though the tests came back negative, it's not being ruled out totally yet. And even though neither of their bodies had trauma, foul play is not being ruled out either. Additionally, Santa Fe police say that the pills found in the bathroom strewn alongside of Betsy are of concern and an important piece of this puzzle. I told you all what those pills were, multiple ones. Police found an unspecified thyroid medication, Tylenol, and I apologize if I don't pronounce this correctly, diltiazem. That last medication is often used to treat high blood pressure. A calcium channel blocker like that can be very dangerous, even fatal in too high a dosage. Now, we are hearing that prior to her death, the 64-year-old classically trained pianist cut off contact with her mother. Betsy lived with Gene in Santa Fe, New Mexico, in a house that they had lived in for decades. And her mother is 91 years old, lives in Hawaii, and has dementia. Her mother's longtime housekeeper gave an interview revealing that Betsy would regularly call to check in on her mother, but they had not heard from Betsy since October of 2024. The housekeeper has worked for Betsy's mother for 20 years. Her mom, Yoshi, was informed by New Mexico police of her daughter's death on Wednesday of this week, but due to her dementia, she's already forgotten the tragic news. The housekeeper says in an interview, quote, "She talked to a New Mexico policeman the other day, but she has dementia, so she forgot already. I feel so sorry for her. She was very upset, but right now she's kind of normal." And this is weird to me. All of this is weird. I mean, I guess maybe it's not weird. The fact that his 3 adult children who are in their later years themselves hadn't become alarmed and I guess they didn't have a close relationship with him. And she checked in on her mother regularly, but didn't have a close relationship with her either. The housekeeper says Betsy hadn't called her in months. She usually called every 1 or 2 months. Last time she called was October. We were thinking, what happened? Who are these people? I mean, whatevs. I would be calling my mom every day. Just for a minute, like let's not exaggerate. Like I'm not gonna always be talking to her for long periods. But like, hey mom, just calling to check in. You went for a walk today, all good? Okay, I love you, I gotta run, you know, and then maybe like once a week, schedule a longer call, but calling every 1 or 2 months when your mother has dementia and she's in her 90s, everybody does things differently. I don't know the relationship they had, you know, growing up or as adults, and same with him and his kids. I am blessed that even though my mother can be a pain and she's as crazy as I am, she's also my best friend and lives with me, and it'll be my greatest honor and responsibility to care for her, to wipe her butt, to do whatever I have to do to care for her and look after her and worship her as I do now until she's no longer with us. Another interesting thing of note in their death is that when the police arrived, they noticed that the door was unlocked and open. A representative for Betsy's family has also spoken, saying, "We give our condolences to Gene's children and his family, but this is a very private moment. Yoshi, her mother, Gene, Betsy, her, they were all very private people. The best way we can honor them right now is to not speak out until the family has had time to breathe and accept the reality of the situation." Also giving more context, close friends of the couple are speaking out. Daniel and Barbara Lenihan and their son Aaron gave an interview. Daniel was such a close friend and colleague of Gene Hackman's. They co-wrote several novels together, and the Lenihans also lived in Santa Fe. Daniel explained that in recent times, Hackman was essentially kind of homebound. Barbara clarified that around a year ago, Gene had quit riding his bike through the neighborhood. Aaron said, Betsy tried to keep him kind of active and engaged, adding that Hackman did puzzles and yoga via Zoom daily. She was still trying to keep him as active and engaged and healthy as possible. Daniel and Barbara noted that in the last couple of months, the late actor was really slipping there. Barbara noted, though, that Betsy was in perfect health and was so fit. Aaron, the son, reveals that Betsy was very protective of him in terms of COVID, so she'd always wear a mask when we'd see her out. He also said they were one of the tightest couples I've ever seen. They seemed like real-life partners, really, really close to each other, and they were both incredibly kind, and they were reserved, but they were real and a lot of fun. Barbara agreed, saying Gene was as proud of Betsy as she was of him. She had been a concert pianist. Over at their house, she had a special building, a studio that half of it was her grand pianos and another half was Gene's art studio. And the best way to end this video is with Barbara signing off, saying they were delightful to be around. Probably never seen a couple that got along and enjoyed each other so much. Hug your nearest and dearest. See them. Don't just call, but see them, hug them. More than even telling them you love them, show up for them. I thank you for your support. 21 years later, I'm still here, and I'm so grateful that I get to do what I love and support my family, and that you share this journey with me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thoughts? Let's discuss in the comments section.